Hey Jungs und Mädels und meine Damen und Herren aus ganz YouTube, willkommen zurück zu einem neuen Video. Viele von uns haben schon Tears of the Kingdom an sich durchgespielt und generell viel von der Welt erkundet. Doch wie sieht es out of bounds aus? Denn ich habe hier nämlich ein Video vorgeschlagen bekommen vom lieben, ich glaube er wird Shizes ausgesprochen. Auf jeden Fall gucken wir uns heute Boundary Break an. Out of Bounds, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Das Video, auf was wir heute reagieren werden, ist in der Videobeschreibung verlinkt. Und ich bin sehr gespannt, was wir so Out of Bounds mäßig sehen werden, auch von Cutscenes her und von Orten, wie es Out of Bounds aussieht, weil wir kennen alle nur das, was Nintendo uns wirklich zeigen will. Deswegen würde ich sagen, gucken wir mal rein, was es Out of Bounds von Tears of the Kingdom alles zu sehen gibt. Let's go.
Hey, quick disclaimer, this is going to be for educational and entertainment purposes only. There's going to be no tutorial on how to do what you see in this video, and I highly encourage you all to pick up a physical or digital copy of Tears of the Kingdom.
Ja,
Thank you so much.
Haben wir eh schon. Ah, das Game ist wunderschön, ey. Boah. Oh. Lol. Okay, das ist ein cooles Intro. Geil. Ultra nice.
Hey, welcome to another episode of an ongoing series where we basically take the camera anywhere we want to try to find secrets and new discoveries to some of our favorite games. And oh my goodness, Tears of the Kingdom. What a game. This title is massive, which means I have a ton of stuff to show you guys out of bounds without even going close to the end game. So if you're worried about spoilers, don't be. The only thing I will say is that I do check out the Zoro domain. So if you haven't experienced that yet, I'm going to put that at the end of the video, and I'll make
keine Spoilers für uns. Und auch für die, die das Game nicht durchgespielt haben.
So enjoy a fun little companion video to your experience with the game so far. Let's get into it.
Alright.
I want to start off by talking about something really fun and interesting. It's the first cutscene you see when you're just about to leave the tutorial island. Link hands over the Master Sword to Zelda, and the whole thing kind of plays out pretty seamlessly. But taking the camera out of bounds and showing you what's going on beneath the ground.
Was ist mit den Händen? What the f?
Show you that the Zelda model is already lying in wait, and that her wrists are kind of like tied to something else completely.
Ihre Hände.
Her a bit of like a sleepwalking or zombie effect to how her arms are positioned, and then she slowly rises into frame, allowing her to be in her scene and grab the sword herself. And as it turns out,
Link die Spawn einfach. Oh, er ist hier unten. Hä?
Is into frame, allowing her to be in her scene and grab the sword herself. And as it turns out, no, we don't go anywhere at all. We're staying in the exact same spot. In fact,
what? Wie weird.
While we have Zelda in frame, you can also see that they stored Link underneath the ground as well. And although you've already been seeing it on the screen, I wanted to take an emphasis on the fact that the particle effect of the Master Sword getting transported to Zelda gets stretched out in real time. And so panning the camera really far out can show you just how massive
auch dieser Zeitumkehr-Effekt und bumm. Link ist einfach unten.
Then we had a viewer request where the viewer wanted to know what happens to the Zelda model as it's shown in this scene here.
Oh, das ist sehr interessant.
And it kind of cuts off before you can even see what's going on. Well, it's not all that special. The model just sort of disappears and turns into a sprinkle or fairy dust or a twinkle, if you will. And it does go quite a bit of a distance.
Und dann verschwindet es einfach. Oh, okay. Ich dachte jetzt gerade wirklich, dass irgendwie ihre... Also die Zelda, dass sie einfach irgendwo wieder unterm Boden einfach versteckt worden wäre oder so.
Seeing Link go through the environment in real time and have this effect happen, I'm wondering what exactly happens to the environment itself. And
was?
The entire environment gets culled
das
out
ganze Game?
And Link is trapped inside of a prism that shows that color that shows up behind the effect that you can see here. Only by taking it at certain angles are you even able to tell that it's a cube.
Das ganze Game wird zu so einem grünen, dunkelgrünen Block? Das ist crazy. Die ganze Welt, die spawnt einfach. Was?
Only by taking it at certain angles are you even able to tell that it's a cube, which is really interesting.
Link rennt in so einem Cube rein.
Talk about my favorite sponsor, which is Bai. Now, why am I talking?
Nice, ich gönne den Sponsor, aber wer sich das Video so an sich anguckt, ihr könnt euch gerne den Sponsor reinziehen.
Thank you so much. And then moving on from there, of course, the other question is, what does it look like when you're trying to dive down into the underground depths? You got this massive tunnel here when you're already above ground, and it's while you're moving through this tunnel that the game shifts from loading out the above ground area and loading in the underground depth.
Ach, der Untergrund ist gar nicht geladen. Oh. Da fällt man runter? Ist das verrückt.
Which is very different from how it works in the areas that are in the sky, because the surface of Hyrule is loaded in at all times. Now granted, whenever I took the camera out to this area before moving there, everything stays in a low level of detail. So there may in fact
Oh, die Wolken sogar. What? Sogar die Wolken laden
sort
mich.
of loading going on here,
Wenn man nicht in der
despite the
Nähe
fact that
ist.
it all looks so seamless. Because if I was to go all over the map while on the surface, you would see that all the level of detail just sort of loads in as I move the camera around. And a moment ago,
Oh, das
we
ist
were talking
heftig.
about the underground depths, and even when you light it up, there's still a darkness that sort of surrounds the area. Granted, you can see a lot better for where you need to go, but if you look straight up, it's pitch black still. So, thanks to
Ja, das stimmt.
Bigzilla, we were able to remove all of the effects that makes this area look
Das sieht ultra komisch aus.
so dark. And when you do that, you can see that there is a ceiling to this area with its own set of textures and everything. The underground depths looks a heck of a lot different when you can see everything that the area
Das
has
sieht
to
so
show.
komisch aus. Ich bin froh, dass sie da so einen Schatten reingemacht haben, beziehungsweise diesen Ort dunkler gemacht haben. Das sieht Nee, das würde ich gar nicht feiern.
And another fun little environmental thing that I wanted to show you guys is
Okay, am
when you first go
Sora-Tempel.
underground for the water temple, quote unquote water temple at least. The first waterfall that you see does have an end to it. If we take the camera out of bounds, you can see that
was ist mit den
there's a
Bergen hier?
stream of water that's resting on nothing before it becomes a waterfall. Which is really funny. But also a fun little fact.
Okay,
when you
einfach
are
so eine
traveling
Wasserplattform.
underground after you go through that whirlpool, the entire world is still loaded in above the surface. Taking the camera here, we'll show you that very same whirlpool. That
Ach,
we
das
were
ist
just
unter
talking about,
Wasser?
which is super impressive. And then speaking of water below the surface, anyone who hasn't seen my Breath of the Wild episode might be surprised.
Warte mal, so sieht es aus, wenn du da unten im Teil vom Wassertempel bist? Was ist denn mit den Bergen hier passiert?
About what you're about to see here. The way that the developers made this world was they would push and pull the environment as well as the water. So there's always
Sogar wenn da so eine kleine Wasserpfütze ist, darunter ist so viel Wasser? Guck mal, das ist so eine...
see here. The way that the developers made this world
Das ist so eine kleine Pfütze, aber da läuft so viel Wasser runter
was they would
unterm
push
Boden.
and pull the environment as well as the water. So there's always a constant water layer and always a constant land
Oh, wie
layer.
weird.
Which means that if you ever take the camera below
What?
the surface, you will most likely see the water hiding somewhere underneath. Making
Oh,
a
krass.
secret world of water that I'm sure would be lovely for any aquatic creature.
Okay.
And one of the cool things that's going on with these shrines now is that they show you a preview of what's going to be inside the shrine.
Ja!
How do they pull
Oh mein Gott, bitte zeig uns, wie weit es reingeht.
that off? Well, you can't find this environment anywhere on the map. It's likely culled out, but the game uses a
Nein, wie schade. Oh, das wäre so cool. Das wäre so geil.
projection of this area and then sort of maps it to this geometry
Aber guck mal, wie weit es da reingeht. Also einfach von der Sicht her. Das ist echt cool.
maps it to this geometry
Boah.
that's housed inside these shrines. So taking the camera inside of the shrine itself will break the illusion for you and can kind of show you where the projection starts and ends. And how about
Okay, was ist, wenn man im Schrein drin ist und dann man außen guckt mit der Kamera? Bitte zeig das.
when you're inside the shrines?
Yeah,
What's it
yeah.
like when we pan the camera out?
Yeah.
Well, it's different from Breath of the Wild, so you end up seeing something entirely different. It's very
Oh.
simplistic out of
Oh.
bounds, and no, you cannot find the overworld map anywhere.
Warte mal, das sind an sich die Schreine out of bounds? Sieht komplett aus wie so ein Labyrinth. Was sind das denn für Dinge?
World map anywhere at this point in time. You're basically loaded into a separate zone. But now we're moving on to the title screen of the game. Did you know
Title
that it's not
screen
a
auch
demo,
noch?
but in fact, a fully 3D environment. And by tilting the camera around, you can see floors and other walls that normally you would never ever get to see. I'm trying to get a lighting mod so that I can show you just how much of this environment you can see. This is a bit of an editorial note. If
Beim
you are seeing
title
this
screen?
message right now, that means that we did get that lighting mod, and you can see just how much there is to see here. Otherwise, it would be caked in darkness. And now let's start looking inside of
Oh, das ist cool.
models. The first one's not the most
Oh, die
exciting,
Gegner?
but still I wanted to show you guys that there is a texture in here that's really difficult to see. And it actually spins around. So while not utterly fascinating, it's still something that you
Tatsache, das ist so ein Ding, was sich einfach dreht wegen der
normally
Energie.
don't get a chance to see.
Oh,
Moving
wow.
on, the King Zora here normally has his feet submerged underneath water.
Ihr seht seine
If you take the camera
Füßchen.
underneath, you can see that he's got feet and even includes some webbing as
Er hat
well as a
Füße.
toenail.
Jetzt ist es raus. Der Sora-König hat Füße.
Wanted to show you how some of the eyes work in this game. It goes all across the board, but with Beetle, it's sort of like another toenail for an eye. There's a bit of a curvature to it, but it's
Das ist sein Auge? What? Es sieht aus wie ein What the fuck? Das ist ein Fingernagel, was?
Spherical, and it's not modeled on all sides, which I guess a toenail is. My bad. We got this dispenser here. It looks like the orbs are actually coming out of the dome, but it's not actually. If we take the camera
zeig uns wie.
Device, you can see where all
Warte, spawnen die einfach?
And then start dropping from this spot.
Tatsache, also wenn so mehrere kommen, bleiben die da einfach oben und warten halt, bis die anderen runtergefallen sind, ne? Guck mal, die bleiben hier. Oh, krass. Okay, Sora-Tempel. Achtung, Spoiler.
Interesting stuff here. First of which being that in this cutscene, the lighting changes completely, and there's a little bit of an effect on the camera lens. And what's funny is that if you take the camera out, you can see that this effect is in fact a giant sphere that encapsulates.
Es ist nur für die Cutscene. Die Farben sind nur für die Cutscene. Was? Wie komisch. Da ist normalerweise unsere Kamera, also wo wir die Cutscene halt sehen, ne?
The player. And in fact, that's not the only time that they do this. When they want the lighting to be a little more hazy, this haze effect is like a cylinder shape and just follows Link around
wie weird.
And then we got Muktarok here, and there's a lot to talk about with this boss alone, which makes me excited to eventually cover the other bosses in the future. See, with Muktarok, he's just sort of like an
Oh, man wird hundertprozentig, also generell den ganzen Boss wird man auch unterm Boden sehen können, oder?
Rock that uses a sludgy construct that's in the shape of a shark. And while he's inside the shark, he's literally inside the shark. It was really difficult to get any footage of this because he's constantly moving, but slowing down the footage here will show you
Was? Okay, man sieht sogar den ganzen Boss an sich.
that his model is in fact inside the shark.
Auch wenn man ihn nicht sehen kann, ist er im Hai drin.
Now, what about when you destroy the shark and he has to run around without it?
Okay, das ist sehr cool.
Well, chances are the character model is called out, but once he summons the shark again, you can see the
LOL, der schwimmt da einfach hoch.
But
guck mal hier.
Once he summons the shark again, you can see the exact moment in which the shark loads back in. And then once you beat the boss, you get a cutscene that takes you over into this new area.
Ja, bitte diese Cutscene out of bounds.
Ich
kann die Stimmen wieder in meinem Kopf hören, Jungs. Ich kann die Stimmen wieder in meinem Kopf hören. Doch, der Dämonenkönig. Übermächtig.
The first of which being that, yes, while you can't see the overworld map while this cutscene's going on, it is in fact in the overworld map. And you can figure this out by seeing the waterfalls that were supposed to be near the boss fight still loaded.
Oh, das ist direkt am Tempel? Hier sind doch die Wasserfälle.
Which means that it's just likely that the entire overworld map is just called out while this cutscene goes on. And really, really cool.
Okay, ich dachte wirklich, man würde irgendwie so zu einem anderen Ort gebracht werden, aber es ist wirklich auf der Overworld.
When I took the camera inside this ancestor's helmet, the ancestor had a face.
Man kann deren Gesichter sehen. Okay.
His mouth, everything. And while I thought that this might just be a reused model of Mipha, I'm led to believe that that's
Whoa.
not the case, because the eyes, though yellow just like Mipha, do have a little bit of a difference here in that they both have yellow eyes, but Mipha's eyes just have a straight yellow, whereas this
Wir haben gerade zum ersten Mal diese Sora gesehen.
model has a speckle of blue or purple, it's hard to tell with the lighting, that are inside the yellow of those eyes as well. And that's it. That's all I got for now. If you want to see more Outbound content,
und der Anfang.
The Breath of the Wild episode. Got a whole playlist here though, so
Ey, starkes Video. Sehr, sehr starkes Video. Ultra cooles Video, habe ich sehr, sehr enjoyed. Freunde, dankeschön, dass ihr bis hierhin zugesehen habt. Falls ihr Bock habt auf ein Part 2, würde ich mich sehr über ein Abo und ein Like freuen. Guckt gerne beim Video vorbei, ist ultra gut geworden. Der Link ist nochmal oben in der Videobeschreibung verlinkt. Lasst gerne ein Like bei dem da. Super starkes Video und ich wünsche euch allen noch einen traumhaften Tag. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Bye, bye.